Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back once again to emmavoid's Let's Play of Pyre. So, here in the downside, it's nice and cold and wet, whereas here in real life, it's currently way too warm. But we will persevere. So, before we get started on the next liberation rite, let's chat with Volfred. Volfred looks up as you approach and smiles. I never thought that I would say such things, my girl, but it is good to wear the raiments and the rites once more. The march of time does have a way of healing certain hurts. Besides, the Nightwings of today, we are a very different beast than the triumvirate which took me in almost a decade ago. Ours was a triumvirate of exactly 3. Well, 4 with Tizo, who proved to be an exception, though historically the Nightwings never took on more exiles than needed. I have mentioned my predecessor, Brighton, and my former companions, Erisa and Oralek. Perhaps naively, I had hoped my time with them would not be relevant directly to what we now attempt. But, seeing as our stories are now intertwined, do let me know if there is more you wish to learn of them. Well, let's go for it then. You inquire about Brighton, who you understand was liberated prior to when Volfred first joined the Nightwings. I never met Brighton in person, but I know him rather well by now. Though, for that matter, my girl, so do you. He studies your reaction for a moment, then... Brighton was born wealthy, but not special otherwise. He would have no reason to have heard of him. He was exiled for negligent misconduct. I do not know exactly why, and do not care for spreading rumors. I first heard of him through Erisa and Oralek, who found me a suitable replacement following his liberation. They spoke little of him. Oralek gave the impression that they did not see eye to eye, but he assured me I soon would hear from him myself. Indeed, as I became accustomed to the book, which you know well by now, I soon began to hear the voice. Oh no, you're kidding me! Volfred looks at you as if to see if you yet take his meaning. You see, my girl, after Brighton's liberation, he assumed a new identity within the Commonwealth, and a new responsibility to the triumvirate which liberated him. That voice you hear from time to time, whensoever the stars align, it's his. He is no longer Brighton. He is now none other than Archjustice Androbeles IX himself. The Grand Judge and figurehead under whose watch the Commonwealth is governed in this day. Those who violate the law of the Commonwealth face sentencing by the appointed Archjustice. Oof. Liberated exiles retain certain burdens to their old triumvirates, and they have much to thank them for. Not just their freedom, but their exalted status in the Commonwealth. The theocratic rulers of the Commonwealth, they do not wear masks and raiments simply for the sake of ceremony, and they are not who they appear to be. Their public pasts are nothing but a fabrication. Like Brighton, they once were exiles too. Brighton, that voice, he has no love for either one of us by now. He knows full well that what we attempt to do, yet he is bound by the traditions of the rites. He shall always stand on ceremony and complain, but I think he knows, deep down, that he is powerless. How ironic that one of such high status in the Commonwealth should be so frightened of some long-forgotten exiles such as we. Anyway, that's Brighton for you. He must have seen in you the potential to be one of his staunch supporters for a time. If that's a path you had wanted to pursue, I should apologize. Now then, whom else should we talk about? Interesting. Well, Erisa betrayed Oralek, and Oralek, the demon we met. Let's go with Erisa next. You ask about Erisa, who you understand betrayed Oralek at the moment of his liberation, but then perished in the Shimmer Pool. I'm afraid you know the brunt of it, my girl, but I suppose you ought to know something of Erisa's past, lest you be quick to judge her solely by her actions. Mind you, I would never make excuses for the terrible choice she ultimately made, but her life, I understand, was very difficult. Erisa had been exiled for the foulest of acts. You could see it plainly branded on her face, such was the heinousness of what she did in the eyes of the Commonwealth. She was an apprentice blacksmith in her youth, taking up the post left by her brother. He had fallen in battle on the blood border, despite wielding their father's own lance and armor. Her father never quite recovered after this, and had grown cruel and detached. It was Erisa who took the brunt of his fury. He expected the impossible of her. One day it was all too much for her, so when next he lashed out at her, she, well, She struck back. She struck back again and again and again. When they came for her, her father was gone, and she was not herself. She was promptly cast into the downside for the crime, where her hatred for the Commonwealth only grew. Arisa always was intense in her demeanor, haunted by her father's memory. More than that, her chief motive for wanting back her freedom was, in hindsight, not a healthy one. She longed to join our nation's enemies, to build for the Highwing remnants a great siege engine that could shatter the defenses of the Commonwealth and forever end our feud. What she ultimately did to Oralek, it was an act of pure and thoughtless desperation. I do not think that it was simply evil, nor do I think that it was personal. I often wondered, though, if, in her final moments in the Shimmer Pool, she understood what she had done, and the depths to which she had fallen. For years I must admit I hated her, but now my only hope is that she found a peace untenable during her relatively short life in the downside and the Commonwealth. Furthermore, I hope the life of Arisa offers some perspective yet to those of us who have not made the same mistakes. Now then, was there something else? Well, one more. Let's chat about Oralek. You ask about what Oralek was like when he and Volfred first became acquainted. Volfred remained silent for some time. I was very, very sick, you know, when I first landed in the downside. The long trip down the river must have been a little much for me. It was Oralek who found me. He could not have known of my capacity to read before he revived me. He was a physician, intolerant of the sight of suffering, of any kind. Not just any physician, mind you, a gifted, highly decorated one. He served on the front. Back then, skirmishes erupted frequently, and those such as Oralek, they had to deal with many casualties on either side. In time, he said he grew repulsed by what he saw. This sowed in his heart a yearning for an end to all the bloodshed, so he tried to use his status to negotiate a treaty with the Highwing remnants. It must have gone about how you'd expect. He was given direct orders to return to the front, but when he refused to soil his hands again, they cast him to the downside. Here he gained the notice of the Nightwings, and before long he grew to be one of the finest rites conductors anyone had ever seen. He was instrumental in the liberation of his companions, whose roles in the Triumvirates were later filled by Arisa and me. In time, Oralek's own opportunity for freedom had come up. He longed for it, so that, with his exalted status, he might stand a better chance of negotiating peace. However, on the evening of his liberation, well, you know the story from that point. Volfred breathes a heavy sigh. He and I were kindred spirits for a while. I could not bear to think that he was gone, and now, I still cannot entirely believe that he is back. He is our adversary now, transformed, grown cold. Still, part of me is happy that he lives. Make no mistake, of course, I shall not be swayed against our plan, not by Oralek or anyone. As I have said before, we share a higher calling now. As for Oralek, he wants his freedom still, although I wonder if he still remembers why. Anyway, was there something else? No, I think that's about it for now. You bid Volfred a good afternoon and leave him with his memories. My pleasure, reader. Reflecting on the past from time to time helps demonstrate how far we've come, yet how much farther we have yet to go. Oof. Well. Wait, hold up. Did I make sure... yeah, I've picked up everything I need out of here. Okay. So, let's check in with Falcon Ron. Hey guys, so like, I don't know what's going on up here with all them stars all acting weird and stuff, but let me tell you something here. You ain't gonna find a better deal on all of this stuff from anybody. I mean anybody in the downside. You can trust me when I tell you that, okay? So go ahead, stock up. Crazy. Alright. So, we got some stuff to sell. Downberry. And then we've got this glowing shard. After dousing adversary's Pyre, Barry's Pyre recovers damage equal up to 50% of what was dealt. That's pretty cool, actually. Let's see, Infernal Gloom after Bear. Adversary. Okay. Alright, we'll go with those. Pleasure doing business with you guys, so, and we left before you could continue. Oh, but we've got a new chapter to read. Or new page to read, I guess. Ailments in the downside often give no warning when they strike. Those who keep moving and make no attempt to settle, they reduce their risks. The afflictions come in multiple varieties. In the bogs of flagging hands, a pallor tends to sink into the skin and then into the mind. The nauseating sea of Solis north of there is difficult for some to tolerate. Very hot or very cold environs bring their own specific side effects. My coat is not as lustrous now, my fangs are long. Like all aspects of the downside, all these ailments share a purpose, to test your body, mind, and spirit. They only appear to harm. Accept them, surpass them, and move on. Interesting. Alright. Something I remembered. If I want to use that, let's see. Yeah, I'll maybe use it for Bertrude. If I want to use that wisdom trace, I should probably use it now. Okay. And then give her back her thing there. Alright. Okay. Well, fingers crossed, everybody. Once more you have gained the Fall of Solium, where one among you may go free. But first you shall have to prevail against the dissidents in the Liberation Rite. Rita, your companions are gathered there under the Fall, and they shall be counting on you. Indeed, as the cycle of the rites turns ever faster, so too is our plan set in motion. My agents in the Commonwealth are beginning to cause a bit of a stir out there, and word has reached high places that the rites are ending. This is our chance, though let us not despair should victory elude us here. We shall make the most of whatever the scribes may have in store for us. That is to say, good luck, my girl. It's time. Whew. Oh hey, we got another one. Dullness the Locket. Adversary's Pyre recovers up to +5 each time they douse your Pyre. Oof. Yeah, again, these are cool and all. I'm not really gonna bother. I'm not that good at this game. I get really nervous whenever we get to these liberation rites.
Once more, the Nightwings gain the summit of the sacred Mount Alariel to conduct the liberation rite. Even as the stars themselves abandon you. Make good upon these final opportunities, reader. This glorious age-old tradition coming to an end upon your watch. I trust the dissidents, your adversaries, shall not throw away this chance. Choose now who may go free, should they unfortunately fail.
The pyres burn, and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. I concur. The pyres burn, and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. Then, anointed one of the dissidents, come forth now and declare yourself, and pay any respects you have unto your adversaries, the Nightwings. Barker bursts out from some hidden corner, laughing as he paused his mask. A real pleasure to be here, mates, truly. Barker Ashpaws. Call me Barker, though, alright? By the by, it was a real pisser getting here, you know. Begging your pardon, Barker Ashpaws, you thusly speak upon the summit of the sacred mountain. Oh my, so terribly sorry to offend you there, lassie. I forgot we got the stars above up there to make me watch my language. Now let's get one thing straight, lassie. I don't give a bother for your sacred mountain, so you take it and you shove it. Me and my pack, we're here just for the laughs, you got that? The other side ain't any better than this one. We ain't interested in your freedom. But just the same, we're gonna get it. Take it from those wee little babes there so antsy for it. Hear that, you Nightwings? You better put up a good fight here, or I ain't gonna be happy, understand? Then he shoves his mask back on. Right, come on then, let's hurry up and get this damn thing started. Well, Nightwings, your decision on whose behalf you shall conduct the liberation rites. Reader, I would ask you to choose wisely, but I am sure you know no other way. And you, prepare your song to read. Of course, Celeste. Alright. So, yeah, the three I've got the option for is Jodariel, Bay, and Tizo. Okay, so that's what I was curious about. Pamitha has reached level 4, but she still can't actually go. So that's good to know. Alright, Judy. If that is your wish. Alright, so I was thinking... It's good to take Wolfred, because we want to level him up some still. And... I think we'll go with Sir Gilman next as well. He's almost leveled up, and also he got that boost from, oops, where was it? Scribe's Favor. There we go, boost to glory. That'll be pretty helpful. Okay, so... Let us prevail on this night for you, Jodariel, and for the good of our ailing nation. And... Sir Gilman. Such an honor it is for this knight to strive on behalf of the good Jodariel. Alright then, mates. No more waiting, no more holding back, and let's rip them to shreds. Let's go, let's go, let's go! That's no good. Okay. Whew. Okay. Nice. What in the... Alright, mate, something's gone right funny with that orb, as I can tell. Better laugh it up while we still can, aye? Indeed, something strange seems to have happened to the celestial orb. It shudders now, as though possessed of the same chaotic power as your adversaries. Ooh, that's interesting. Oof. Dang. So good. Here we go. Almost got it. Come on.
Too bad for that one.
Hey, come back here, you. I guess that's what they meant. Alright.
The Nightwings proved their worth. An outcome which left little room for doubt. Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus the scribes have chosen the exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free. Absolved of all misdeeds, return to glory in the Commonwealth. Her adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
What a joke! Here I was thinking we were gonna make them cry after all this. Come on, mates. I've had it with this stuck-up place. So let's get out of here already, aye? Oof. Alright. After all this time, she turns her gaze toward the rest of you. I never thought this day would come. I have all of you to thank for this, for doing this for me. The life that I recall back in the Commonwealth was at times difficult, and I am much older now. I know not what I shall find on my return. However, I know this. If that place still is like the Commonwealth I left so long ago, then I shall strive to make it better, for as long as I retain my strength and breath. You see her smile faintly as she disappears into the shimmer pool, though you can still hear her voice, though faintly now. Farewell then, reader, all of you, for now. Alright.
Godspeed, Captain Jordaniel. The eight scribes are watching from afar. By their grace, may the cycle of the rites keep turning for as long as possible.
This night wonders at times about why we are here, and which forces have transpired to bring us here together. Has Under King Oras himself taken an interest in this noble quest? Alright, so now we pick a mastery. Let's see. We got Heroic Stand. Yeah. And Valiant Return. Stunning Claim. That's meh. Seized Chance. For 10 seconds after banishing an adversary, Sir Gilman deals an additional 10... that's not that great. That means that you gotta banish them with Sir Gilman and then get the orb to Sir Gilman and then get Sir Gilman into the Pyre. Oh, this is good though. Avenging Aid. After Sir Gilman banishes an adversary, one of his banished allies shall instantly return. Let's go with that one. The rites demand we act as of one mind, in perfect unison and harmony, and free of any doubt. I have grown more accustomed to being a part of the Nightwings of today. Alright, so let's see, last time we picked Guardian Sapling. Spawns faster, larger aura. I think that's what we were gonna go with. Yeah. Okay.
The eight scribes gave their freedom so that we may yet have ours.
Stars continue fading. Yeah. You prevailed in the liberation against the dissidents. Already does the Black Wagon feel quieter than usual without Jadariel, who returned to the Commonwealth. You overhear some of your companions reflecting on this. It never grows easier having to say farewell to one of our own. Surely the good Jodariel would rather that we celebrate than grieve. You wonder who, if anyone, among you shall be the next to go. We have but a few such liberation rites remaining. Exactly how many, I do not wish to speculate about as yet, until such time as we can better say for certain. Under no circumstances would I suggest this is ideal. However, it is opportunity enough that our plan may as yet succeed. 64%, nice. Although, all of these setbacks, I fear Wolfred trails off and falls silent. Some of the others exchange looks. They are beginning to understand. With the rites soon ending, everything which Wolfred has sought, both on his own for many years, and now with all of you, all of it may have been in vain. The hush spreads to the others. But not to you. You then proceed to do something that none of them seem to expect. You raise your voice. Each of your fellow exiles turns to you, their expressions asking you a question with no easy answer. What are we going to do? As you meet Bertrude's gaze, the words for the occasion begin to crystallize in your mind. You are searching to find the right words, as all your fellow exiles are looking to you now. You tell them that you all have stood together time after time throughout this quest, and are now poised to seize upon a glorious opportunity. Okay, so interact to consider a different way to put this. Press the red seal to lock in your speech. Okay, so tell them that you all have stood together time after time throughout this quest. Tell them that you're not going to mince words with anyone. Tell them that you have all struggled to have come this far across the downside. I like stood together. That's pretty good. Let's see. Now poised to seize upon a glorious opportunity. I think only a hollow fool would turn back now. Let's go with those. Your path to freedom still is laid bare before you all. True freedom is not waiting for you in the Commonwealth. See, path to freedom is laid bare before you all. None of you pursue this quest with any guarantees. It is clear now that not all of you are going to return. Nah. Path to freedom is laid bare. True freedom is not waiting for you in the Commonwealth. The path is difficult enough without the added burden of despair. Nah, true freedom. Meanwhile, the stars themselves are shining on for you. Let's see, the Commonwealth is already in upheaval, but something far more vital is at stake. All of what transpired cannot be mere chance. They would spur you on to greater feats. All of what transpired. Okay. You all now have a divine duty to uphold. Glory awaits if you can persevere together. Something far more vital is at stake. Oh, so it gives different options for whatever you pick for the first one. Okay. Unfinished business, resist the forces, its troubles beginning. Injustices committed on the other side cannot continue. Something far more vital is at stake. You see the imminent conclusion of the rites as a sign. Disappearance of the stars above can be no accident. It is a sign that the world is changing. The scribes are watching. Something far more vital. Disappearance of the stars. Sign or no accident. You now have this opportunity to live with purpose, for your people, for all those who shall live on. for each other, for your own sake. For yours is a righteous cause, for all those who shall live on. You all stand poised to ensure the world you leave behind for your loved ones, for your people, for each other, for your own sake. It's a world worth living in, worthy of homecoming. Now is the time to stand and fight the forces that oppose you. For your people, for each other, for your own sake, for those who live oppressed, for those who do not fight, do not prevail. Now is the time, this opportunity to live with purpose. The world we leave behind. Now is the time to stand and fight the forces that oppose you. For people, for each other. For those who live oppressed. If you cannot see the merit in this quest, then you are unfit to stand among the Nightwings. You are unfit to stand atop the sacred mountain. Unworthy of the raiments in the books. Unworthy of the stars' waning light. When you look at it that way, which side of the world you end up on is up to all of you. To each one of you in your own way. Whether you achieve your freedom is up to all of you. Each one of you. You need but see your journey to its end. If you can believe any of this, then believe above all in each other. Believe that the plan may yet be achieved. That's what your heart is telling you. After a brief period of reflection, you share one last sentiment with the group. Our cause is just, we shall not be stopped. We are the righteous, and we shall have our day. The stars may die, but our cause shall live on. Whosoever dares oppose us is welcome to try. Soon we shall stand together unopposed. Thus do you remain together with your thoughts. No one speaks for a time, but then... You truly believe that your commonwealth can change its ways then, reader darling. I suppose that I may yet come to believe it too. Thou wouldst dare to change this ancient world, reading one, and yet thy words are tinged with certain truths. Scream! Tiso vows to stand with you no matter where your quest shall lead. Aww. May long the stars remain alight for you, reader madam. All the while, Wolfred remains watching you intently. Then, his expression softens and he smiles. You are right, of course, my girl. We are the Nightwings. It is precisely as you said. The stars may die, but our cause shall live on. Lead us, then, reader, to the end of our quest and the dawn of a new age for all our kin. Everyone, for the Nightwings! Everyone responds in kind. They stand with you no matter what, and they await the outcome of your vision of the stars, which burn with renewed fury, because now the last rites beckon. Each of the Nightwings has gained +1 hope permanently. Nice. That's pretty cool. Our cause shall live on. The stars above now burn with what appears of desperate fury, many more of them than usual. Your path is yours to choose amid a myriad of stars. Goodness, usually we have to wait a while. Lu the Vernal, Goal the South, Jomura the Dusk, Triesta the Silver, Kaelmer the Rogue. The stars of the 8 scribes, they shine together now as one. The lone minstrel draws breath as though surprised by what he sees. He backs away and averts his eyes. This is another sign the rites are soon to cease. Few chances yet remain to confront the adversaries you have met during your journey. Whew. Oops. Triesta the Silver to go against the Withdrawn. Lu the Vernal to go against the Accusers. Kaelmer the Rogue to go against her Deluge. Oh, Boris doesn't have one. Jomura to go against Distance again. Or Gold to go against the Tempers. Alright, I think we're gonna go to Triesta to fight at Milde. You are set to re-encounter the Withdrawn, led by Witchwood Milde. However outlandish her intentions seem, one ought be aware of her. He then reveals what he has learned of her and her designs. Witchwood Milde, one of the Bog Dwellers and head of the Withdrawn, a triumvirate more interested in legends of Yslock the Astralborn than in the rites. Her kind was known to be reclusive in the Commonwealth, yet she was brazen in her disdain for common values. She practiced the unspeakable. Somehow, one day, her research into flammable reagents grew into an obsession with Yslock, despite widely held belief that he is dead or never did exist. But Milde held that Yslock is merely dormant and shall someday be reborn, with newfound hunger, which could only be sated by devouring the world. And then at last could Yslock return to his glorious home, and Udmilde would go with him. When Commonwealth officials showed up to take Udmilde in for spreading unrest, she was all too eager to comply. After all, a sentence to the downside meant being that much closer to Yslock's resting place, where she believed she had much work to do, where the Withdrawn stood ready to assist. In short, the 8 scribes certainly would not approve of what she aims to do, so be careful in her presence, reader, and for now, good night. You bid the lone minstrel a restful night in kind. It is too late to take flight, so you expect to press onward come daylight. Alright. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. That was certainly one heck of an encounter, and all that stuff that happened after. So yeah, it sort of sounds like we're coming up to the end of the story, at least getting pretty close to it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate all of your likes and comments, and if you feel up to it, feel free to check down in the doobly-doo. You'll find my PayPal and my Patreon links there if you want to send me some money to, support me and help me make more videos like this. Most of all, I hope you all come back to see the next episode, and, any that are after it, because, man, this stuff's getting intense, don't you think? Thanks so much for watching. Bye!